Hi. I'm going to apologize for the way that I look, first of all. Um, this isn't going to be a long thing, but I meant to do a new video sooner, but some things have been happening, so I haven't been able to get to it like I would have liked. So, hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to start resuming things. I'm going to take a day to distress, do my hair, do a little spa thing for my face. I have those mighty patches. My face definitely looks like it needs them. Um, but my fella yesterday took a little bit of a fall as he was getting to his mom's car to go to chemo. He's had a little bit of issue with the strength in his legs not being quite right. I intended on talking to her about it, but didn't get a chance because normally while he's doing the chemo thing, I send messages to her, so he's not really hearing as we're talking about some of the stuff. Because we communicate just to be aware of any potential changes that he's been going through. She lets me know when his appointments are going to be up next so I can help better prepare, make sure that he's showered, everything like that, before he heads out. We've been each other's support systems, so sometimes when either I've had to complain or she's had to complain, because sometimes he can be a fussy baby. I love him, but it's true. So, it's one of the things we do. And I also do bills, do some straightening up around the house. It's a few hours where I just kind of have it to myself. But that kind of really got thrown off track. And there was the fire drill that happened yesterday too. And the fire system here, it's a newer building. The rent is based on income. So, thankfully, SUNY students aren't here, and we don't have to pay an arm and a leg each month just to stay here. But they're really up to date on like sprinkler systems, the smoke detectors. There's a carbon monoxide detector. We got central heating and air. We pay for the air, we pay for the electric, but the heat, hot water's included. We only pay $5.58 a month. So it's actually really nice. We got elevators, laundry rooms. If people are interested, at some point I'll give you a little bit of a tour. I mean, I'd have to record it at like the butt crack of dawn, so I'm not bothering people. But but yeah, so we got flashing lights and klaxons that go off in the apartment, in the halls, everywhere when the fire alarms go off. Like for serious fires, like there's the little fire alarms in the apartments, but when it becomes like a big thing, when it hits out in the halls, that's when the bigger ones go off. So when they're doing the fire drill, they do the big job. And so I cussed something fierce when it suddenly went off because they don't give us an exact time because it's supposed to be a surprise. I did jokingly tell, bonus mom and Tom, he was lucky he missed that. But he was in the ER at that time. That's where he had to go. He's not very active when he's been home. Because of the chemo and stuff, he just seems to sleep a lot. I try to get him up more. least help out with a little bit of the chores, like pulling the trash. I clean up after him because he tends to leave a mess wherever he goes, like especially in the kitchen. Like he'll make himself food and he just leaves the containers everywhere. I have to make sure to check on top of the fridge, on the stove, on the kitchen table, like basically everywhere. Like, so, I'm doing the cleaning up to save my back a little bit, pull the trash, little things like that. But it's also to just get him up for a few moments, have him doing a little bit of something, a little bit of activity. But apparently that hasn't been enough because I know they're doing a CT of his legs at some point today. They might have already done it because it's currently 4:20, nice, in the afternoon. So they might have already done it, but they at least found last night a blood clot in one of his lungs. Blood clots are usually due to inactivity. I remember when I was in the hospital because of my CIDP, they taught me, especially if I wasn't going to be able to be mobile at home, because they didn't know the extent of how much of myself I was going to recover after the IVIG treatments and the physical therapy and stuff like that. So they basically have these injections that you can do at home, and you inject them into your belly, which it was funny back then because I'm very pale, if you haven't noticed. And I can bruise pretty easily. And so because you don't inject in the exact same place every time, especially when you bruise easily, I started joking that I had a Dalmatian belly. But that was why they were having me learn how to do the injections for myself and stuff like that, was because of potential blood clots. If you don't move, that's what could happen. I haven't heard anything of a treatment plan yet. They're most likely going to be keeping him until Monday at least. I'm kind of hoping they'll keep him longer to maybe do some physical therapy too, because especially if he is presenting with leg weakness, and I believe, in the muscles and stuff, he has some, he needs some assistance, and I'm not trained to do that. I'm willing to help him with that, but I mean, they're better equipped there. It's just facts. So as much as it's gonna suck for me, it's what's better for him. And that's ultimately what's far more important, at least in my eyes. So, yeah, I'm intending on kind of bleaching my roots, retouching up the silver. So I'm gonna try to do that today, do just a little bit of me stuff, because I've been a mess. I've been easily flustered. Every time I've had to be on the phone for like the last 24 hours, I'm and it's not been fun, but it is what it is. But I kind of felt bad that I just started this up and I haven't updated people. And I'm sorry that my double chin there keeps touching the microphone. I'm hoping. I even got some of that bum cream that eventually I'm going to start trying to see if it'll actually work on this. because it's one of the things I don't like using the word, but I hate this. This bugs the fuck out of me. That's why, again, I don't like looking at me so much. But yeah, I'm going to try to just take the evening, I guess, pamper, listen to music at a not insane volume, but something where I can just caterwaul and enjoy myself. Maybe watch some horror movies ad nauseum. Just do some self-care because it's also important. It's hard for me, but I understand that it's important because the more that I allow myself to stress and wind up and everything, when he gets back, it's not going to be helpful for him and it's not going to be helpful for me, which then isn't helpful for him. I don't know if I mentioned, no, I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, Tom's suffering from glioblastoma. So that's the big brain cancer. Like, Tom probably has better luck winning the lottery twice than having this go into remission. It's not impossible. It's just improbable. Which really sucks to say out loud every time. But that's the truth of it. So again, this is just extra time. But I wish it was extra time that he was actually being able to enjoy right now. And that's not what's happening. So hopefully he's going to do the smart thing, as I always tell him. Do whatever the doctors are telling you so you can get home. And, pay attention to your health. I recently went to a seminar where it was discussed that apparently cancer cells are getting basically fed the more you eat. Like, for those that are overweight, the things that are feeding your fat cells are basically feeding the abnormal cells that then become cancer cells. And this wasn't just some kooky seminar. This was actually done at Lord's. So licensed professionals discussing this, real science. Actually, it's going to be part of the team that I hope to start working with in the coming months. So, I wish he would take his health more seriously. We had another scare earlier this year because of an ingrown hair. He nearly went sepsis. I think that's the right way to say it. But it got infected. He didn't say anything about it, and it wasn't in a spot. It was like in his lower back, and it's not something that you see often or anything. So no, it wasn't his lower back. I'm sorry. That was something else. That was his stomach. The ingrown hair was on his stomach. Lower stomach. Not an area that I see often anymore, unfortunately. But those fires have... never mind. Just... too much, Dessa. I'm sorry. So, It had gotten infected, a simple ingrown hair, and he was in the hospital for over a week with it almost becoming septic. It took months for the wound to recover. Months. And because they had to clean it and pack it, it looked so much worse than what it should have been. He's been really going through so much during all of this. So much. I wish it would get better. I don't mean in that whole final, like, at least now he's at peace. No, I want him to fight. I want him to be here as long as possible. I wish he wasn't going through this at all. I mean, he's not a bad person, and he's done absolutely nothing to deserve this. Of course, technically, I should say nobody deserves this, but there might be a few people in the world that are shitty enough that maybe. Shit. Waterworks are nearly happening, so it's not something I like to do. That's probably from childhood trauma, but it's definitely from that. I've always had a thing about either myself crying or other people crying. I don't react to it well. It's not like I react to it aggressively or violently, or it's awkwardly. That would be the best description. So, yeah, before I turn this into a whole now hour-long video, I'm just venting a little bit here, I guess, and I apologize. But again, I felt like I should at least say something, and I'm sorry, because again, I meant to do a video sooner. Not that really anyone's watching these yet, but who knows? So I'm doing this, to not be a jerk. I don't know. But have a happy Friday the 13th tomorrow. Apparently, according to my watch, I'm going to be having my period, so yay. But hopefully tomorrow I'll be ready to record something else for you guys. So be good to yourselves, be good to people around you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.